So, I want to talk about SSSS.Gridman. Gridman is easily one of my favorite shows of 2018. Hell, it may be one of my favorite anime ever simply because of how enjoyable it was. I mean, it has great fights, phenomenal characters, and is really easy on the eyes. But what stands out the most for me are the main characters and how... No, not these little shits. The main characters and how wonderful they are and deserve nothing but the best from the world that Akane created. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Gridman is an anime adaptation of the tokusatsu series Gridman the Hyper Agent. Some of you may know it as Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, the American adaptation. For those of you that don't know, tokusatsu is a genre of live-action dramas featuring the heavy use of special effects and suitmation. The genre staples are actors in monster and superhero suits, crazy transformations, and often sci-fi, fantasy, or horror elements. Popular tokusatsu shows you may have heard of include Godzilla, Kamen Rider, and Super Sentai, or Power Rangers as we Americans may know it. Gridman is about Yuta, a kid who wakes up with no memories, and after a kaiju attacks his city, he begins talking to Gridman, a robot that no one else can see who exists inside an old junky computer. This leads to Yuta transforming into Gridman and fighting the kaiju to protect the city. As they fight, Gridman's allies eventually join Yuta, allowing him more Gridman forms to fight kaiju with. Now, if you think this sounds like a fun time, then you are absolutely right, but don't be fooled. Gridman is actually about Akane and Anti and their struggles to find joy and meaning in their existences. Their character arcs kept me invested in the show more than any of the other already amazing elements it had. I will warn you, there are spoilers ahead. I'll be talking about big twists from the show now, so if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and do that because you deserve nice things and I want you to have them. Now that that's out the way, let's talk about the main character, Akane. Her character arc threw me for a loop because even after all my years of anime, I am never prepared for the high schooler is a literal god plot twist. You see, Akane is the creator of the town that the story is set in. A town surrounded by a mysterious fog and the silhouettes of giant kaiju that we later find out are her administrators. The ones that she used to repair the city after every destruction. Why does the city get destroyed? Because whenever she comes across someone in her little toy box that she doesn't like, she creates a giant kaiju to level half the city to get rid of them. If this isn't bad enough, that person is wiped from the memories of everyone as if they had been dead for years. Now, if that sounds absolutely horrible and inhumane to you, that's probably because it is. I'm not here to argue that Akane hasn't done horrible things, but the beautiful thing is, by the end of the story, neither is she. Akane is just a kid who wants to live a happy life, have friends, and enjoy the world she found herself in. But life doesn't always go exactly as we want it to go. It throws curveballs, has bumps in the road, and sometimes it's so difficult that it feels like it's impossible to put one foot in front of the other. But for Akane, this world is her world. It's the world she shut herself off into and she has the power to change it as she sees fit. She doesn't have to roll with the punches because she can stop the fight whenever she wants. So she does. And honestly, who would expect anything less from a kid with the powers of a god? But with the introduction of the Gridman alliance, she can no longer use her kaiju to erase everything, because whenever one shows up, Gridman beats it, and beats it, and beats it. And now this new bump in the road is making all the other bumps worse. The accidents, the awkwardness, the failures, they stick, and she can't just get rid of them as she pleases. And that's what makes her character arc so enjoyable on such a simplistic level. After failing numerous times and reflecting on all the damage she's done, Akane regrets the choices that she's made, choices that got her to her lowest point, and realizes that she can't run from her problems anymore. She learns that those curveballs and bumps make life what it is. Life. Everything being the way you want it to doesn't make life good, it makes it easy, but even that must end at some point. That point being when a flaming-headed asshole turns you into a kaiju, stabs the person that saves you, and tries to fly off into the sunset in a new giant body that he gets after making you a depression battery. But that's not important right now. Now, do you see this wonderful little donut here? That's Anti. I love Anti. He's a precious being who saved the day and deserves to be protected. But before he was being unceremoniously stabbed like an hors d'oeuvre at a bad dinner party, he was another kaiju. Though the only one with a human form, obsessed with beating Gridman just like Akane programmed him. The first time he fought Gridman, Anti beat the salt and pepper out of the kid. Life was good, Akane took him out for a 5-star dinner, shit was sweet. Then Gridman came back and Anti lost. And lost. And lost. And just like Akane, the struggles of life are thrown at him again, and again, and again. As the show progresses, Anti quickly becomes nothing more than a minor nuisance to Gridman, and his very existence is brought into question by those around him. What's the point of a Gridman beating kaiju if they can't beat Gridman? And if they can't beat Gridman, what are they? Do they live for the sole purpose of being defeated? And what happens when their nemesis refuses to kill them after defeat? Are they simply meant to suffer in existential despair? Even his own creator gives up on him as he continues to fight Gridman and pursue a single desire that fills every fiber of his being. After Caliber challenges Anti's purpose by asking him what he plans to do after defeating Gridman, Anti confronts his creator and she accuses him of being a human, claiming he has too many emotions to be a kaiju anymore. So what does this precious thing do? He decides to find the meaning of his life on his own. He tosses aside his programming to destroy Gridman for a moment and, in the process, embraces his humanity and becomes Grid Knight, emulating the humanity that has been shown to him by Gridman and the rest of the cast. He still promises to defeat Gridman, but he decides that he doesn't have to do it right now, because there's more to his life than that. He decides that just because you were placed on one path by another, it doesn't mean that you can't find another direction to your place in this world, all the while staying true to the person you were along the way. While both Anti and Akane's journeys were prompted by defeats at the hands of Gridman, their two journeys led them to two very different places. Whereas Anti finds his light at the end of the tunnel by questioning his own existence, Akane falls deeper and deeper into despair. She was so used to her perfectly flawed world that when it's disturbed, she tries to fix it just like every time before that. She creates kaiju to fix minor inconveniences, annoyed but waiting for things to return to her status quo, only to see things get worse. As the failures stack up, the brave face she first showed begins to fade away and she gets more desperate to get rid of the problem that is Gridman, putting more and more of herself into the kaiju. As Gridman defeats these parts, as he always has, Akane closes herself off from the world she had created and finds herself without anything left to put into kaiju. Akane refused to truly connect with those around her unless it was to her benefit, and anything that didn't would be flattened by the kaiju she created. But what happens when you close yourself off from the good parts of the world and can no longer run away from the bad parts with kaiju? Where Anti gained his humanity by earnestly connecting with the world he found himself in, Akane lost hers by refusing to make those true connections, even in the world that she had created. And just like Anti, she goes through a transformation. However, she is forced to face the demons that she had been running away from. Only by connecting to the world around her, through her friends and her failures, is she able to come face to face with the things she has done and how horrible they were. Only then is she able to come out of the bubble of a world she created and go back to her real life. Now, I don't say all of this to sound like some super deep analyst or professional trying to explain the show to you because you won't get it. I made this video as a tribute to a show that I absolutely loved. Akane and Anti's story arcs were really touching to me and a true shining star of 2018's anime. I enjoyed watching every second of it, and I hope you'll go and watch it because I loved it and because I want you to love it too. And if you like the show, check out Denko Chojin Gridman, Boys Invent Great Hero, a short created by Akira Amamiya, the director and one of the animators for SSSS.Gridman. It's a wonderful short and helped Gridman come into being. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed my first video on the channel. I really look forward to talking about the series I love, and if you want to see more of that, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and comment below. It'll really mean a lot.